Hey, TikTok, Moonpaw coming at ya. I have a pretty cool story for you today. So, I went to Hawaii a couple of years ago for a cousin's wedding, and I was swimming in the on a reef, and I got a little too adventurous. I actually ended up swimming yards offshore, like so far that if I was in danger, no one would have been able to help me. I was so far out there. I tried to stay out of open water though and stay on the reef because again, there are dangers, and I always kept a sharp piece of coral in my hand, so if there was a shark or something, bam. But I basically turned into the merman, and the opposite story of Ariel. I wanted to be a merman and leave the human world behind, but unfortunately that's not how that works. But for a little while I actually felt that way, and it was really magical, and I was so far out there. It was like I could barely see the shore. Again, it was really cool but really dangerous and kind of stupid. But I did end up swimming back, and a paddleboarder said, "I don't mean to alarm you, but you didn't see it, but a shark was following you." And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to panic. It's an animal. It didn't bite me. It's in its own world. Whatever. And I had my sharp piece of coral. And I said to him, oh, and he's like, don't worry. It wasn't too big. But again, I wanted to let you know. And I'm like, well, what is not too big? And he was like, not touching that. He didn't want to freak me out. So it could have been a big shark. We don't know because he didn't really elaborate on that. But again, so Moonpaw had a real adventure and didn't make the smartest choices. But I got to tell you, being on the reef and being out there, and unfortunately, to really be on the reef and really be in the coral, you kind of got to get out there, like really out there. And I gotta say, it was a really cool experience despite the shark. But yeah, I had a good time, and I wish I didn't have to come back. I wish I didn't have to come back to your world. But I did. And my uncle, oh my God, as a matter of fact, he panicked. They were ready to call the Coast Guard because they thought I was gone forever. But again, I got so caught up in the moment that the magic of the ocean, I feel like I just became one with it. And there you go. Cool story from Moonpaw for today. But don't be stupid like I was, because I did have a shark follow me. Even though I didn't panic and I didn't let it bother me. Again, it did happen according to the paddleboarder. So always be careful when you go in the ocean, and don't go out that far unless you're with professionals who are doing like a coral snorkeling or something like that.